Namaskar दोस्तों, welcome you all to Dhairya IS YouTube channel. In today's video, we will know the story of 9 forms of Goddess Durga in detail. The festival of Navratri is celebrated to cherish the victory of Dharma over Adharma, that is, the victory of goodness over evil. These 9 days are associated with the battle that was fought between Goddess Durga and the demon king Mahishasura. Throughout these 9 days, the 9 avatars of the goddess, known as Navadurga, is worshipped. Each day is dedicated to one incarnation. Devi Durga is also synonymous with Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti means energy, power, and empowerment. Adi Shakti celebrates the female energy of the universe, the energy that brings about equilibrium and balance. The 9 forms of Devi Durga are Maa Shailaputri, Maa Brahmacharini, Maa Chandraghanta, Maa Kushmanda, Maa Skandamata, Maa Katyayani, Maa Kaalratri, Maa Mahagauri, and Maa Siddhidatri. Let us find out the story behind each avatar of Goddess Durga. Maa Shailaputri is the goddess that is worshipped on the first day of the 9-day-long Hindu festival of Navratri. Shailaputri means the daughter of the mountains. Before she was born as Shailaputri, she was born as Sati, the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, one of the sons of Lord Brahma. Sati was in love with Lord Shiva and she really wanted to marry him. But her father Daksha Prajapati was absolutely against this marriage. According to him, Shiva was a dirty ascetic, not meant for marrying girls from respectable families. But this did not affect Sati's love for Shiva, and she married him even though her father was against it. And she started living with Lord Shiva in Kailash Parvat. After a few years of her marriage, she got to know that her father, Daksha Prajapati, was organizing a huge yajna in which all gods and goddesses were invited. She was very excited because she missed her parents and she wanted to go home and visit them. But unfortunately, they did not receive an invitation. Sati could not believe it and she thought maybe there was a mistake. So she decided to go and visit her parents, even though Shiva really tried to tell her that, no, if we haven't received an invitation, maybe we are not expected there and we shouldn't be going there. But Sati did not listen. She did not pay heed to Shiva's word and she went home. She was excited to meet her parents after so many months of being married. And the moment she reached, she received a cold shoulder, not just from her father, but also from all the relatives who had gathered there. It was only her mother who welcomed her and embraced her. But Sati was heartbroken. She could not bear the thought of being unwelcome in her own house, the very same house where she grew up, the very same house where she had those lovely memories, and her own father, who she loved so much, humiliated her choice of husband. Sati could not bear it, and she entered the huge fire that was burning and she self-immolated herself. The moment this news reached Shiva, he was livid and he reached there. He was so angry that he pulled the half-burning corpse of his wife from the fire. He was so enraged that he took the form of an angry god Veerbhadra and caused immense destruction over there, so much so that he even beheaded Daksha Prajapati. He took the half-burning corpse of his wife with him, dragging it in fury, in rage. On the way, different body parts of Sati fell on different places, and these places are called Shakti Peeth. There are 52 Shakti Peeth in India. Daksha Prajapati was later forgiven because of the intervention of Lord Vishnu, and he was given the head of a ram. He even completed his yajna in the presence of all the gods. Sati took birth again, and this time as the daughter of the Himalayas. She came to be known as Shailaputri. which means daughter of the Himalayas. In the same incarnation, she had two other names, Parvati and Hemavati, and in this birth too, she was married to Lord Shiva. Shailputri is considered one of the most powerful forms of Durga, and we pray to her on the first day of Navratri festival. She is immensely powerful. She rides a bull called Nandi, and she carries a trident and a lotus. She is known for her many glories. Devi Brahmacharini is a form of goddess Durga that is celebrated on the second day of the 9-day long festival of Navratri. After her self immolation in her previous birth as Sati, she took birth again, and this time she was born to the king of the mountains, the Himalayas. In this birth, she came to be known as Parvati, and in this birth, Parvati became Brahmacharini. Brahma over here means tapasya, and Charini means a female devotee. One day, Parvati was visited by Narad Muniji. Narad Muniji told her that in this birth too, you can get married to Lord Shiva, but for that, you will need to do severe penance. At once, Parvati decided that she was ready for any kind of penance. She went into severe penance. It was no ordinary tapasya. Her tapasya went on for thousands and thousands of years. For the first 1,000 years, she only ate fruits and flowers. For the next 100 years, she only ate vegetables. For the next 3,000 years, she only ate dried leaves. This kind of tapasya or penance was different. Nobody had ever seen this kind of tapasya. And after the 3,000 years, where she ate only leaves, she went on to eating nothing. She gave up water, she gave up food, and her purpose to life became severe penance. She became weak and absolutely emaciated. Once, when her mother visited her, she was shattered to see her, and she remarked, "Oh Ma." It is because of this remark that sometimes Parvati is also known as Oma. When she gave up eating leaves, she earned herself another name. The name is Aparna, somebody who lives without the leaves. After so many years of penance, Lord Brahma was pleased, and he visited her and blessed her, saying that due to her penance, Lord Shiva too was pleased. And they had Lord Brahma's blessing, and the both of them could get married in this birth. Brahmacharini is the symbol of immense sacrifice, penance, solitude, purity. On the second day of Navratri, we pray to her to give us so much strength that we can be completely focused on penance towards gods, what we love, and towards sacrifice and towards solitude. In this form, she carries a rosary on one hand and a kamandal in the other hand. People pray to her for peace, prosperity, and happiness. A lot of people who follow the Navratri also observe a fast for all 9 days. They go without food and sometimes even water. On those days, they pray to Goddess Brahmacharini for strength so that they can stay focused and so that they can deal with whatever they wish for. On the third day of the auspicious celebration, we pray to Devi Chandraghanta. Chandraghanta, the goddess whose forehead is bedecked with a crescent-shaped moon that also looks like the bell of a temple, which is the Ghanta. How did Chandraghanta get her name? How did Devi Durga in this form take another avatar? In one of her previous births, Devi Durga was born as Sati, and she has self-immolated herself. When she was born again, she was born to Himavan and Mena, the god of the mountains. It is said that Himavan and Mena had done severe penance and prayed to Adi Shakti, and Devi Durga herself took birth as their daughter, Parvati. And Parvati, on the insistence of Narad Muniji, went into severe penance to win the love of Lord Shiva. And then, after severe penance, Lord Shiva agreed to marry her. However, after he had lost Sati, Lord Shiva had become detached. He did not care any longer about anything. So when he came down to Himavan and Mena's house for the wedding ceremony, he appeared to look really scary. With his matted hair, his body covered in ash, snakes all over his body. His look scared all the people who had assembled there for the wedding, and so much that his wedding processions comprised ascetics and ghosts. Some of the relatives of Himavan and Mena even fainted out of sheer fear. When Parvati saw him, she was upset. Yes, she was scared too, but she did not want to give up. So she took a very, very scary form too. She was huge. She was sitting on a lion and she grew 10 arms and she carried a different thing in each hand. She closed her eyes and with a pure heart she prayed to Lord Shiva and begged him to change his avatar, to come there as a more presentable groom and also to bring along a more presentable procession. Lord Shiva heard her prayers and at once transformed into his handsome avatar, and his wedding procession too transformed and comprised gods, goddesses, devas, and devis, and both of them were married with a lot of pomp and show. Since that day, the third day of Navratri, we celebrate and pray to Maa Chandraghanta. Maa Kushmanda is the goddess of a form of Durga that is worshipped on the fourth day of the 9-day long festival of Navratri. Maa Kushmanda is also known as the smiling goddess. Her name translates into three small words. Ku means little, Ushma means small and smiling, and Anda means egg, which translates into a small cosmic egg. It is believed that it was Maa Kushmanda who actually created the universe. In the beginning, when there was nothing and there was only darkness, that's when Maa Kushmanda, using her energy, produced a small cosmic egg, which is the universe where we live. It is believed that it is Maa Kushmanda who resides in the core of the center of the sun, and it is her that who gives the sun the direction. It is she who gives all the universe warmth and energy. At the beginning of time, when there was nothing, and after Maa Kushmanda had created the universe, she created three life forms. From her left eye, she created a fierce goddess called Maa Mahakali. From her third eye, from her forehead, she produced Maa Lakshmi. And from her right eye, she created a benevolent and smiling goddess Maa Mahasaraswati. And then she started glancing at these three life forms. These three life forms, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, and Mahasaraswati, were the first three life forms of the earth. She glanced at Mahakali. From Mahakali, a male and female were born. The male had 5 heads and 10 arms. She named him Shiva. The female has 1 head and 4 arms. She named her Saraswati. Then she glanced at Mahalakshmi, and from her too, a male and a female were born. The male had 4 heads and 4 arms. She named him Brahma. The female has 1 head and 4 arms. She named him Lakshmi. And then she glanced at Mahasaraswati, and from her too emerged a male and a female. The male had 1 head and 4 arms. She named him Vishnu. And the female too had 1 head and 4 arms, and she named her Shakti. And then she presented Shakti to Shiva, Saraswati to Brahma, and Lakshmi to Vishnu as their consorts. It is believed that these three went on to create the rest of the universe. And then Maa Kushmanda absorbed the three back into herself. She absorbed Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, all back into herself. And then it is believed that she became one with Shakti as an orb of energy. On the 4th day of Navratri, we pray to Maa Kushmanda and she removes all obstacles from the lives of her devotee. Maa Kushmanda has 8 arms, and in these 8 arms she carries a kamandal, a bow, an arrow, a pot of nectar, a lotus, a rosary, a disc, and a mace. She rides a lion, and because of which her devotees are fearless. Maa Skandamata is worshipped on the 5th day of the Navratri. Skanda means Kartikeya, who was the firstborn child of Shiva and Parvati, and Mata means mother. So Skandamata essentially is the story of goddess Parvati. We all know that after Sati immolated herself, Shiva became completely disconnected from the world. He lived away from everybody, deep in tapasya, and he did not care at all about what was happening. He lived as an ascetic. Around that time, there was two demons, Surhapadman and Tarkasur, and they had got a boon that they could not be destroyed. In fact, the only person who could kill them was the offspring of Shiva and Parvati. However, when Shiva completely disconnected himself from the world, all the gods and goddesses got really worried. What if they'll never manage getting rid of the two demons, Tarkasur and Surhapadman? And that's when they all went to Lord Vishnu and begged him to find a solution. Lord Vishnu told them that it was absolutely their mistake. Had they not gone to Daksha Prajapati's yajna without Shiva and Sati being a part of it, this would never happened. Sati would have never immolated herself and Shiva would have never been disconnected from everybody. So Vishnu had no solution. And that's when Narad Muniji visited Parvati. Narad Muniji told her that in this life too, she could get married to the love of her life, which is Shiva. However, that would require severe penance, severe tapasya. Parvati really wanted to get married to Shiva and she went through thousands and thousands of years of tapasya, after which Shiva was finally pleased. He relented and they both got married. When their union happened, a blinding seed, a powerful seed took birth. This seed was so radiant that Lord Agni himself was given the job of taking care of the seed, because from its radiance the child of Shiva and Parvati would be born. However, Agni could not bear the radiance of the seed and he took help from Ganga. Ganga looked after the seed and then Parvati herself took the form of water because she knew that only she could carry the seed that was born of her union with Shiva. And then Kartikeya was born. He had 6 faces and he was looked after by 6 mothers, also called Kritikas, which is how he got the name of Kartikeya. In South India, Kartikeya is also known as Lord Murugan. He is the commander-in-chief of army of gods. He is ever so powerful and he is blessed by all gods and goddesses, not just with powerful weapons but also immense knowledge. It is said that when he grew up a little bit, he went to Brahma himself to gain knowledge, which is why it is believed that if you pray to Skandamata, you automatically end up praying to Kartikeya. Skandamata has 4 hands. In one hand, she carries Kartikeya as a baby. In her second and third hand, she carries a lotus, and with her fourth hand, she blesses her devotees. Skandamata rides a lion and she sits on a lotus. Maa Katyayani is worshipped on the 6th day of the Navratri festival. Maa Katyayani is one of the most popular forms of Durga. It is believed that Maa Katyayani was born to kill and bring an end to Mahishasura. The story goes like this. There was once a sage named Katyayani and he was childless. And he prayed with all his heart to the Trinity, Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma. He was blessed that one day he will have a wonderful child. In the meantime, Mahishasura, the demon, was really becoming powerful. So much so that the gods and the devas also feared him and they all went to the Trinity and begged them to find a solution. Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma combined their energies and created a female form. This female form was extremely radiant as 1,000 suns, and she had 18 arms. She had fierce eyes. She rode a lion and was given the blessings to defeat Mahishasura in the battle. Just before going into battle, all the gods blessed her with many gifts. Shiva gave her a mighty trident, Vishnu gave her a Sudarshan Chakra, Brahma gave her a water pot and a rosary, Varun gave her a conch or shank, Agni gave her a dart, Surya gave her a quiver, Vayu gave her a bow, Indra gave her a thunderbolt, Kuber gave her a mace, Kal gave her a sword and a shield, and Vishwakarma gave her a battle axe. She rides a lion and she is fierce. It is said that she went into a mighty battle with Mahishasura. The battle between Katyayani and Mahishasura went on for days, and finally she defeated him by chopping off his head. Katyayani is also known as Mahishasur Mardini, the one who killed and defeated Mahishasura. And her celebration, her victory, is celebrated in India. A day when a woman took a form that was fierce and she went down on earth and she defeated a demon who was as terrible as Mahishasura. On the seventh day of Navratri, we celebrate the seventh avatara of the goddess Durga, Kaalratri. She is also known as Shubhankari. Kaalratri is the fiercest form of Devi Durga. She is the destroyer of evil. Maa Kaalratri is black as night and has 3 luminous eyes. She exhales fire. She has 4 hands. In one hand, she holds a thunderbolt. In the other, she holds a sword. Some stories say that her other 2 hands lay in mudras, one in Abhay Mudra, symbolizing her fearlessness, and the other in Varda, symbolizing her benevolence. Some say that she uses one hand to hold and the other to protect. After the Asur, Shumbha and Nishumbha invaded Devlok and destroyed Indra's kingdom, the Devas were left helpless, since these 2 Asuras had a boon that no man or god could kill them. To save the Devas from the terror, Indra visited Parvati and apprised her of the situation. Parvati sent Chandi, also known as Kali, to deal with the demons. However, Shumbha and Nishumbha had sent 2 other demons called Chanda and Munda in the battlefield already. Chandi killed the demons and earned herself the name Chamunda. She then faced another demon called Raktabij. Raktabij had a peculiar and powerful boon. He could never be destroyed. Whenever Raktabij's blood was shed and it came in contact with the ground, a new Raktabij would emerge. This infuriated Maa Kaalratri, and as she struck him, she bent low and drank his blood before it could come in contact with the ground. That was the end of Raktabij. Maa Kaalratri then went on to kill Shumbha and Nishumbha, restoring peace in Devlok. On the 8th day of the Navratri festival, we celebrate and we pray to Maa Mahagauri. Maha means extremely and Gauri means fair. This is the story of Parvati ji, when Parvati ji in the form of Kaalratri was fighting all the demons, and when she came back, her skin had turned absolutely dark. She tried very hard to get rid of it, but she just couldn't get rid of that dark skin. Her husband, Lord Shiva, made a little fun of her. He teased her and called her Kali. However, this really infuriated her, and she went on to Lord Brahma. She prayed and prayed to him, and she told him that I want to get rid of this dark skin. Make me fair once again. After a severe penance, Lord Brahma was pleased and he blessed Parvati. He told her that she should go and take a dip in the Mansarovar lake in the Himalayas. The moment Parvati stepped into the Mansarovar lake in the Himalayas, her dark skin separated from her and magically took the form of a female. This female was called Kaushiki. Kaushiki went on to destroy 2 terrible demons, Shumbha and Nishumbha. Shumbha and Nishumbha had got a boon from Lord Brahma that they could not be killed by any man, god, demon or deity, and that's how Kaushiki killed them. Once Parvati had bathed in the river, she emerged absolutely stunning. Her skin was now fair and radiant, and that's how she came to be known as Maa Mahagauri. Maa Mahagauri has 4 arms. She carries a trident in one hand and a damru in the other. She rides a white bull. She is a symbol of kindness and morality. On the 9th day of the festival, we worship the 9th form of Devi Durga. The 9th form of Devi Durga is Maa Siddhidatri. It is said that at the beginning of time, when there was nothing in the universe, there was only darkness. Then Maa Kushmanda created the universe using her radiant smile. Maa Kushmanda also created the Holy Trinity. She created Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, and each one of these gods was given a job to do. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. Once all these gods were created, Shiva went and prayed to Maa Kushmanda and asked her more perfection. He asked Maa Kushmanda to bestow him with lots and lots of blessings, to bestow him with more perfection. And that's when Maa Kushmanda created another goddess. She created Maa Siddhidatri. Maa Siddhidatri blessed Shiva not just with 8 or Ashta Siddhis, but with 18 Siddhis or 18 perfections. And then something amazing happened. Half of Lord Shiva's body became one with Maa Siddhidatri. She became half of Shiva, and that form of Shiva, where he is half female and half male, is called Ardhanarishwar. Maa Siddhidatri also blessed Brahma and Vishnu with 8 perfections or Ashtasiddhis, and that is why Maa Siddhidatri is worshipped on the 9th day of the Navratri, which is also called as Ram Navami. Siddhidatri Devi is depicted to be wearing a red colored sari and riding over a lion. She holds a lotus in the lower left hand and a shankha in her upper left hand, a chakra in her upper right hand, and a bludgeon in her lower right hand. She sits on a lotus flower. The 10th day is celebrated as the Vijayadashmi, that is Victory Day, among the Hindus and is considered as one of the most important festivals.